Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Adventure Belt. The drawer system and dual battery system is nearly complete, so now I'm testing out solar panels. Let's see what I got. This is a new solar panel I got off Amazon. It's from Boog, I don't know how you say it, Bougerv. It's a 120 watt suitcase style solar panel. You really have two options when it comes to solar panels. You can either fix one to your roof or you can have one remote. I like them remote because I park in the shade. I live in the desert, shade is precious. So when I can find it, I utilize it. Now, of course, there are some drawbacks to having a solar panel remote away from your vehicle. One is you have to make an extension cable to get your power from the panel to wherever your input is. Here's everything to make your extension cord for the Anderson plug. Hydraulic crimper, not necessary, but I highly recommend it. This thing works really well. This is one off Amazon. It's high clat. It's really, really good. I've been using it all the time. 10 gauge wire, Anderson plug, Anderson Powerpole. I'm gonna start with the Anderson plug first. On the bottom of every Anderson plug, there's a positive and negative, and these insert in a very specific way. If you look at the Anderson nub, there's a hook and there's a big bulbous part here. The hook has to go towards the plate that's inside here. So the positive goes on the right side, negative is on the left side. All you're gonna do is insert it. You hear the click, and now you know it's in. I ended up picking up these 10 gauge specific Anderson Powerpole connectors, and they're much, much easier to make connections in 10 gauge wire. Go figure. All right, let's make it. And like all Powerpole connectors, you have to make sure that you kind of orient everything the proper way. If you get these backwards, it's just gonna bind up the wire, especially with these wires already being pre-joined. So just make sure you have it on the right way the first time. All you're doing is placing the wire into the arms of the connector here, taking my crimpers here, and all I'm gonna do is crimp this down nice and solid. And the most important thing to keep in mind here is when you make this connection, you want this to be nice and compact, otherwise it won't fit into the housing. I've got a good solid connection. All I'm gonna do is slide the housing over the wire. So right now it's a little bit too thick, it's not going in. I'm just gonna crimp it down a little bit more. It might take a couple tries to get this thing in. And once you get it in all the way, it'll make a nice positive click. And now I just take the two and I'm gonna slide them together to make a good solid block. And now they're attached, I'm just gonna pull the boot over the ends. Now this looks very professional. The Powerpole that comes with the solar panel is stacked. I'm not a huge fan of that. The cool thing about the Powerpole is if you pull this boot back, you can actually pull these apart, switch them to inline, and push them back together, and now they're in line instead of stacked. And then push the boot back on. Make sure they orient and insert the correct way. It's pretty good. 2, it's a trip hazard. 3, if the wind picks it up, it could dump it over. So you have to be cautious kind of where you place it and make sure it's in a good, safe place where it's not gonna get stepped on. Now this solar panel from Bougerv was actually really high quality. I like everything about it. It's got an aluminum frame on it. It comes with multiple plugs. It comes with a nice protective bag, which is good because I tend to beat things up. It's super quick and easy to set up. It's got 2 latches to open it up. It's got 2 legs, which are totally adjustable for angles, and you just literally set it out. One of the other draws to this solar panel over others was the fact that it comes with a Anderson Powerpole connector. The Anderson Powerpole connection is just a good solid connector that'll never fail. It takes a minute for the kick-ass DC-DC solar charger to recognize the solar input, but then you can see it starts charging. This is my first time hooking this solar panel up to the kick-ass DC to DC charger. My new Renogy battery manager, God, say that 3 times fast, is saying that it's getting fluctuating between 50 and 90 watts, 90 being the peak. So it's not hitting that 120. I didn't think it would. It's partially cloudy today, so the clouds rolling in and out is definitely giving the panel some fluctuating wattages. However, I really like this panel. It's not all rainbows though. There are a couple things that I wish were a little different. So even though the bag is padded, there is a zipper compartment inside the bag that is actually wearing a little bit. The zipper part of it is wearing on the panel because when you fold the panel, it folds so the panels are facing out. And that's one thing I wish they would do, is I wish they would make it so the panels were on the inside of it so it's protected, and the outside, you know, the casing was the part that was actually exposed to the padding itself. However, not a huge deal. I'll find some foam or something to put over that and I'll keep that nice and clean. What do I like about the solar panel? Number one is I like the fact that it's Suitcase. It folds in half, it goes in a bag, and I can store it in the truck. I'm not worried about it getting dirty, being fixed to the vehicle, and taking up a lot of real estate on my roof rack. I also like the fact that I can move it away from the vehicle. I have a 20-foot extension cord with this that I made, and it's just really versatile. I can move it on the driver's side, passenger side, front, back. I can put it on top of the roof. I can really put it anywhere I want within that 20-foot mark. I definitely am going to do a long-term review on this panel as far as just if it's still working, if it's efficient, because for the price point, it's really hard to beat. There's not a lot of 120 watt Suitcase solar panels out there for that price point. A couple specs on the panel itself. It's a monocrystalline, it's 120 watt, and it's obviously foldable. The price on it is $260, and I'll have a link to that in the description below. Be sure to check that out. All right, guys, I really hoped you enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. It helps our channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time.